What is going on, guys? Welcome to Grego's TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and give you the last 7 days of tech news videos in one single video. With that said, we dive deep into a new feature that's coming to the Galaxy Z Fold 3. It's going to help with performance. We've got information on the Galaxy S22 series of phones, like a bunch of things that you would probably want to know. Also, Surface Duo 2. I'm very excited about that phone. We have like full specs and price for that device. We have information on so much more. Galaxy Note 22. Why not? We've got information on that, and the pot is definitely stirring with that one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. First story is about the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. This is going to be the best of the best tablet that they released, Samsung them, in January of 2022. It's going to be a beast of a tablet, and it's getting a piece of technology that is going to ultimately come to phones later on in 2022, and then probably basically almost all of their high-end devices by 2023. So check this out. This is coming over from Tron. Tron puts out a tweet saying that Samsung is developing a new bezel-less technology called BRS, Border Reduction Structure. With this new technology, the bezels will be even thinner than the thinnest bezel of all time, the S21 Plus bottom bezel. The BRS technology will be applied to some portions of the upcoming Tab S8 Ultra displays. After that, it will be applied to smartphones that require a higher display ratio from late 22 to early 2023, and that's what we're looking at. So basically, you're looking at devices that are going to have even slimmer bezels, either most of the way around on the display or all the way around on the display. So if you hate bezels, you're probably going to want to dive into the Samsung camp, because it looks like we're getting rid of them for the most part. And it's starting with the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, which I think I'm going to get. I kind of miss having a solid premium Galaxy Tab tablet. I have the S7 Fan Edition, which I've done a video on. Watch that video. I'll link it down below. But yeah, it's looking cool. I'm excited about the Tab S8 Ultra. Lastly, the Galaxy Z Flip 3 and Fold 3 and a bunch of other devices, most likely the Note 10s, the Note 20s, the S20s, S21s, and a bunch of other phones are getting a new technology that has just been pushed to Samsung's lower phones. Like the A52 just got this update that adds this feature, and it's called RAM Plus, Samsung RAM Plus. And what it does is it allows consumers to be given the freedom to adjust the volume of expansion with 3 adjustment levels. So they're going to be able to use ROM, which is AKA their internal storage, and convert that to virtual RAM. Users will enjoy enhanced performance for RAM-intensive games, photos, video editing, mobile applications, and a smoother experience while running multiple mobile applications simultaneously thanks to virtual RAM expansion. So I'll explain it one more time. What it's called, Samsung RAM Plus. It's going to allow you to take your internal storage, and you'll be able to go into your phone and convert that to RAM to give your phone better performance. They tried doing this with lower end phones that didn't have a lot of RAM, because our storage writes really, really fast, especially these premium tier devices. They write really, really fast. So we can now convert that into virtual RAM to make our phones run even better. The update isn't out yet for any of the other phones except for the A52 that I know of. So we should be getting on the Z Fold 3, Flip 3, and some of the other Galaxy devices as well very, very soon via a software update. First story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. Now, if you want to get this phone because maybe they aren't having a Note phone this year, or it won't even ever come out, or it might come out not until like next year or the year after, you can get a really nice deal currently on Amazon for the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. It's linked down below if you want to take advantage of it. And as you can see right here, it's going to only be $900, so $899.99. You'll get the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. It is the 128 gigabyte version, but you can pick it up right now on Amazon. So if you want to take that deal, again, it's linked down below, and it'll be delivered as early as tomorrow. So if you've been waiting on getting a Galaxy Note, this might be your chance. Next up is about the update for the Galaxy S21 series of phones. The One UI 4.0 beta is out right now, so you can sign up for it. you have to go into your Samsung Members app and you can download it from there. With that said, here's the changelog of everything that's been changed. It's a really, really long list. So ultimately, the One UI 4 keeps the things you love while adding a wide array of new features and enhancements and more customizations than ever before, so you can make it your own, more intuitive, more fun, more secure, easier than ever. So the home screen widgets have been redesigned to give you more information at a glance while also making your home screen more stylish. Your lock screen, you can now change the audio output to a different device, such as headphones or speakers, right from the lock screen. You'll also get customized controls depending upon which music app you're using. There's also a new voice recorder widget for the lock screen that lets you record voice memos without unlocking your phone. A monthly calendar appears on the calendar widget to help you keep track of your events from your lock screen. Always on display, you can set the always on display turn on whenever you receive a notification. That could be helpful. New animated stickers are available. A quick panel, you can manage your notifications more comfortably with an enhanced layout and an integrated section of alert and silent notifications. The brightness bar in the quick panel is larger, so it's easier to see and adjust. I like that. Dark mode is wallpapers, icons, and illustrations are now darkened automatically to provide a more consistent look and more comfort for your eyes. Charging effects, you'll get a new visual effect to appear when you start charging to help you change or check the charging speed. That's a cool one. Samsung keyboard, not too much into this, so I'm not really gonna cover that, but you can see a couple of the things there. Sharing, you can now customize the list of apps that appear on the share panel to reduce clutter. When you try to share pictures that have problems like poor focus or framing, you'll get suggestions for fixing them so your pictures always look their best. What about the camera? Enjoy a simpler, clearer layout with a preview that shows only the information that you need. Also, lens and zoom, see the zoom level on the lens icon for easier zooming. Video that never misses a moment. Recording now starts immediately after you tap the record button instead of when you release it in photo mode. Single take, add extra time while recording in a single take so you don't miss important moments. That's actually pretty cool that it adds more time to that, or you can do that. Pro mode settings have been reorganized for a cleaner look. Enhanced scan features. After scanning a document, you can zoom in for fine editing. Gallery stories now show video preview on the cover and highlight video inside. You can also see where each picture in a story was taken on a map. You can see AR emojis. There's a few new things. I'm not huge on that, so we'll skip to multitasking. You can pin the window option menu to the top of a pop-up window to make it easier to access. You can easily resize picture-in-picture windows with a pinch zoom. I love that. Keep your current app in view while using edge panels. Blurring has been removed to help you more at once. Settings, new safety and emergency menu lets you manage your emergency contacts and safety information all in one place. Improved search features help you find the settings you need when you need them. Digital well-being, not so interested. The clock will give you a dual clock widget now. Shows different background colors for each city depending on whether it's day or night. The calendar layout lets you add events instantly. You can also find events more easily with improved search. Messages, photos, videos, and web links and other content will now appear in search results in the Messages app. Your My Files app, you can search features has been improved. You can still find the files you've been looking for even if there's a typo. The recent files area has been expanded to help you more easily find files you've used recently. The Internet app for Samsung, which is their browser, gets more search suggestions when you enter text in the address bar. The new search widget helps you find what you're looking for. To protect your privacy, Samsung Internet will automatically start in secret mode if you were using secret mode during your last browsing session. You can see Device Care has a few new things in there, as does Samsung Health, Bixby routines, and accessibility. And ultimately, the update you can see is 2.4 gigs, a huge update. Like I said earlier, it's only for Galaxy S21s. It's not for everybody, so if you go into that Samsung Members app and you don't see it, then you probably won't be able to sign up for it. But yeah, it should be out hopefully November, the full update, maybe a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit later, but I think that's the aim, is November, to fully push it out to everybody outside of beta. First, let's talk about the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, because it's gonna have something that's kind of cool. And we kind of know this, but this is going to lock this in because this guy is rock solid with his information. This tweet is coming from Mr. Ross Young, and here it is, a little late, but we confirmed that the Google Pixel 6 Pro is LTPO. That's the same screen type technology that the Galaxy S21 Ultra also uses. He's saying he also confirms that there will be a Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra with a 14.6-inch OLED display. We've kind of heard it's going to have this huge display, and like I said, Ross Young is known throughout the tech industry for having amazing knowledge and know-how of, just displays in general. I've had him on my channel a couple times, and I'm thinking about seeing if he'll come back. I have some questions about some upcoming phones as well that are going to be possibly here in the future. Now, with that said, 14.6-inch OLED display is massive. Maybe too massive, maybe too big for just a tablet. They really have to come out with some kind of keyboard attachment that fully locks this in so that you can use it on your lap, on your bed, and not just on a hard surface like the other keyboard dock thing that they had going on with the Tab S7 Plus. So hopefully they get their wrongs righted with this new tablet, but it's looking like an absolute beast of a tablet. Let me know, 14.6 inches, too big, too small? Let me know. Next story is about the Galaxy S22 Ultra and Plus. Now, there's gonna be some differences between those phones. Those phones have been changing overall throughout the years. Last couple of years, really just differences, like one had 2K display, one had 1080, one had maybe a plastic back, another one had a metal back. They're changing little things, and it looks like they're going to continue that trend this year as well. Check this out. This tweet comes from Ice Universe. This is exclusive Exynos 2200 official version, frequency data, CPU 1X Cortex 2.9 gigahertz, 2.8 gigahertz, and 2.2 gigahertz. The GPU will be an AMD GPU running at 1250 megahertz. Second, you look at that next tweet, it says correct. This is the only frequency of the S22 Ultra. The S22 Plus is different. So the S22 Plus is gonna have lesser internal specs. So and maybe in the past they all had the same performance basically because they all had the same processor running at the same speeds, doing blah, 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 doing this and that. It's gonna be different this year. S22 line, they're really trying to differentiate the regular from the Plus to the Ultra, and the Ultra will really probably stand out a lot more now versus the other two lines. And I don't know, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's really, guess up to the consumer if they can get away with an S22 Plus, save some money, and potentially not have to have the best, but they can still have something really well performing for what they need. I think it's a win, but ultimately it's a little bit of a downpouring of emotion there that kind of looks bad overall, I think, for Samsung. I don't know, maybe they don't even need that Plus. Maybe they should just have the Ultra and the regular. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And then also he put out this tweet talking about the charging speed, 100% positive that he's saying that the S22 Ultra will have 45 watt charging. So we haven't had 45 watt charging on a phone in a while. I can't remember if I don't think the S21 Ultra had 25 watt if I remember correctly. So 45 watt coming back for this phone, so that's a good thing. Hopefully there really is a difference between 25 watt and 45 watt, because when I did my own video and I measured it before, there was no difference at all with the 25 watt and 45 watt. And in some instances, 45 watt was actually slower. So yeah, hopefully they actually put a real 45 watt charger in this to see some kind of difference, especially from 0 to 100%, not just like 0 to 50%. So let's jump into the tech news first, and the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. They actually have these phones on display in their Google store in New York City. And Matt Swider was nice enough to post this on his Twitter, saying that this is the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, Google's chief rivals to the iPhone 13. They're just sitting in a display at the Google store in New York City. Camera bar close-up, yay or nay. My photo's in the thread story on Tech Radar. And when we take a closer look at these, you can see the camera bar close-up with that little red patch at the top, along with this one, which is the Pixel 6 Pro, coming fall 2021, aka October of 2021. Looks beautiful, looks awesome. I'm excited about these phones. Here's a regular Pixel 6. again with the same moniker, coming fall 2021. And if you want to see this, go to the Google store in New York City and you will be able to check these phones out for yourself. You can't touch them or play with them. They're literally behind glass, but it would be kind of cool, I guess, in a way, get a little selfie with that. Speaking of the Google Pixel 6 Pro, what about its raw power versus the Galaxy S21 and the Pixel 5? So this is what it's going against in the speedometer app. So this speedometer app allows them to check for just raw power of simulating and adding and removing items from a simple to-do list app using a variety of different frameworks and APIs. And Pixel 6 Pro didn't win, but when you look at it versus the S21 Ultra and the Zenfone 8, which have Snapdragon 888 processors, it comes fairly close. Looks like scores like 75 versus 85 on the Ultra and about 80 on the Zenfone 8. And you got to remember that the Pixel's processor is a Tensor processor, meaning it's like their own internal processor they made supposedly with Samsung, or it's like a copy of a Exynos processor, but ultimately it's their own processor. And then also what we're looking at here is Jetstream 2, and this one takes many suites of smaller JavaScript and WebAssembly benchmarks, and it pitted against the S21 Ultra, Zenfone 8, and the Pixel 5, and it kills the Pixel 5, basically doubles it, and then it comes within shouting distance of the S21 Ultra and the Zenfone 8. So not bad scores overall for a first-time chip from Google, I should say. I'm excited about this phone just because they are making it a flagship phone. I love the Pixel cameras overall. It's gonna have updated cameras in there. So I think if you're looking for a candy bar phone, I think this is gonna be a great phone, especially if you're in America and most other places as well, if you can get this phone. That it's potentially a big rival against the S21 Ultra. Next up is about the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. We know this is gonna be a big boy tablet, 14.6-inch display. But what about some, resolution of it? Is it gonna be 4K? Is it gonna be 2K? Is it gonna have a big battery? Well, here it is. This has come from Ice Universe saying the Tab S8 Ultra is going to have a resolution of 2960 by 1848 with its 14.6-inch display, and the battery will be 11,500 milliamps. So you're looking at a huge battery, and you're looking at really, really nice resolution. It's not 4K, but we're getting there. Every inch, it's still basically 2K, but still, it's nice to see that they're putting out not only basically a laptop replacement, but also they're continuing the trend of putting really nice specs into their tablets. And I said it yesterday, I got a little kickback from it. This tablet, you cannot just buy this tablet you could. You can't just buy this tablet and walk around like this. It's gonna look ridiculous. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It needs to have a proper, solidly built keyboard cover so that it stands up nicely, have it be on a table, on a bed, or on your lap, or in your stomach. It just needs this. And there's rumors that it's going to have this. So hopefully it does, because if it does, it's gonna be a major tablet in that game to possibly replace laptops, because it sounds like that's what they're doing. Is this would be a laptop killer. Today is Apple's big release day for their new iPhones. Also, you can already buy their iPads, but obviously you can buy those as well today. Accessories, all that kind of stuff is up for pre-order right now. I'll link it down below if you want to take advantage of it. I personally picked up an iPhone 13 Pro Max 256 in white. I was gonna get the blue. My order got kind of like messed up because I was having issues while pre-ordering it. It was actually one of the worst pre-orders I personally have ever dealt with, especially on the Apple side. It was really, really not smooth. It was just, I had issues again, like I kept getting errors checking out. I got errors loading up the page. It loaded up late. It didn't even load up on time, like the page when they said pre-orders are gonna start. So just a bad experience overall. I ended up ordering two. One by accident was going to like my mom's house, so I had to cancel that one, and then now I have one coming, but I got a white one instead of a blue. But yeah, if you ordered one, put it in the comments down below what you got, exactly which phone, and then, or if you're not going to, or you're thinking about it, there was a link down below, like I said. With that said, we have a couple of news stories today and a couple of questions. Pretty slow news day and question day overall, but with that said, let's jump into the news. So first story of the day is about the Galaxy S22 charging speeds for the S22, 22 Plus, and 22 Ultra. We talked about, I think it was yesterday, the 22 Ultra having 45 watt charging, which is a comeback of sorts because Samsung has kind of denied that speed with some of their most recent phones, but now it looks like they're going back to that, which is a nice welcome surprise, and hopefully it's really true 45-watt charging. And as you can see from the tweet from Ice Universe, he's saying that the S22 will have 25-watt charging, the 22 Plus and the 22 Ultra will have 45-watt charging, and if things, go as planned for this 45-watt charging, you can expect the 22 Plus and the 22 Ultra to go from about 0 to 100 in about 50 to 58 minutes. So under an hour, you'd be able to potentially charge it up rather than being close to 90 minutes on some other phones that they have. So it's, again, a nice welcome addition. Hopefully it's full true 45-watt charging so that we can charge basically within under an hour. There's some crazy charging speeds out there right now. The Xiaomi 11T Pro, I think, charges from 0 to 100 in like 24 minutes. Like, that is amazing. I would love that. But yeah, what do you think? Are we at a point right now where the charging speed aren't what they should be? What would you like them to be? Put in the comments down below. And then we have another tweet from Ice Universe. This time he's talking about the S22 battery has only a 3700 milliamp. Yes, it's true, but the S22 is Samsung's smallest flagship phone in recent memory. Its length, width, and thickness are a little smaller than an iPhone 13. He says he likes a small phone and he plans on definitely buying it. And here's a little comparison of the two phones next to each other. I'm personally not a huge fan of small phones. The older I've got, older I'm getting, the worse my eyesight has become, and I want things to be brighter on the screen. I want things to be bigger as well. So when you have big text or big anything on the screen, it really hinders the overall experience of enjoying the display. So I personally want something big. If you're younger and you have great eyesight, or you just want something small in your hands, that's what she said, then yeah, a small phone I think makes sense. But for me, I really, really want the largest phone, at least display-wise, that I can get. And jump into this phone first. The Microsoft Duo 2, Microsoft Surface Duo 2. That's going to be our first story today about the specs, preliminary, and what we could possibly see for the specs on the Duo 2. Now, I had very high hopes about the Duo 1, and I have a lot of high hopes about the Duo 2. It could potentially be the phone that takes me off my Z Fold 3, at least one of the devices that I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I love the fact that you get these dual displays, that you can open up two apps at once at the same time. It's a really nice experience. Let me open this up real quick. Let's do Instagram and Twitter. And it's just nice to have that experience of doing two apps at once, but it's hindered a little bit. There's no camera on the back. When you do use the camera, you have to like flip it over and do this kind of weird thing where you can see the camera, what's going on this side, but you shoot it with the front camera. It's just not, overall, there's some bugginess to the software. They still haven't updated the software. Like, there's things about this phone that are cool, and then there's half of the things that really aren't that cool. But with that said, let's talk about the specs, at least what we could possibly see for the Surface Duo 2. Now, the Galax put a nice tweet out, and obviously this isn't written in stone. These are just rumors, but let's play with it a little bit. Snapdragon 888, which would put it on par with all of the latest, greatest Android hardware. Android 11, 8 gigs of RAM, a little low on the RAM. I would like to see 16 or even 12 at the very least, but I'll take 8 because this Surface Duo 1 only has 6. Storage 128 and 256, I'm completely fine with that. There's gonna be no micro SD card. White and black for colors, 4400 milliamp battery, a little small. I would have liked to see at least 5000, but hey, whatever. Dual 5.8 inch high refresh rate AMOLED display, so you heard that right. 5.8 dual displays running at 120 hertz. The cameras are going to be a 12 megapixel main, 16 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel telephoto. So they now have 3 cameras on the back. It'll have 5G because the Duo 1 only has LTE. Bluetooth 5.1, NFC, which are all brand new. NFC is brand new to the Duo line. It didn't have it in the first one. Wireless charging, again, new. And then price $14.99 plus. Very expensive price on there. It's obviously a little bit too high for most people to just go out and buy it. And it's also probably, I hate to say it, even though the specs are looking pretty nice, I think it's going to be DOA. I think it's going to be dead on arrival for most people. I think people will buy it. I think it'll still have its hardened, very hardcore fans that really love this phone. But I still don't think ultimately that people are going to buy it due to the fact of the price. It's a really high price for a device that most people don't even know about. Your mom and dad definitely don't know about that. And then beyond that, most people already have their phones because it's coming out a little bit later. They either have your new iPhones or new Galaxy phones. So like it leaves the market of people that actually buy this really, really small. And maybe that's what Microsoft wants, but I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still going to get it. And hopefully they give me some good trade-in value for my Duo 1. Next up is a tweet from Ice Universe. This is the future we're talking about. Samsung is considering carrying a 200 megapixel sensor for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And why is that such a big deal? Because we've heard it's gonna have a 200 megapixel sensor, and it could be an alliance with Olympus, you know, the camera maker. When they do that, the next version, the S22 Ultra, will have 108 megapixel. We're not gonna get 200 on that, but yeah, if you're looking forward to the S23 Ultra, which is 2 years away, we've got potentially something to look forward to. Next up is about the phone that you guys are salivating for, the phone that you've been waiting up now, by the time it comes out, probably about 2 years that it has come out. I think it's gonna create a big buzz when it does come out, if it comes out. And it's about the Galaxy Note 22 series of phones. Check this tweet out from Ice Universe. He says that, let's talk about the Note 22 Ultra again. Someone saw its middle frame structure. It was very easy to recognize, so it was quickly confirmed that it was a Note. Yes, it was still right-angled design. So I think he means that it's squared off edges. It's not going to be round, so you'll still get that square design on the Note 22 series of phones. With that said, we have a couple of news stories and a handful of questions. If you want to leave a question so that I answer it in the next video, put the word question as your first word. I will answer it in tomorrow. You'll see your name and lights shining. With that said, let's jump into the tech news. Pixel 6 Pro is right around the corner. It's going to be announced and released in October. You're probably looking at maybe October 4th as the announcement or the release date, probably really the launch date, and then a week or two after that, you'll probably be released in probably like the middle of October. Now, there's been rumors that this phone was going to have faster charging, and it looks like we can lock that in, and it will be faster wired charging than the Galaxy phones right now that are the new ones anyway. So check this out. So you can see Exclusive XDA is reporting that the Pixel 6 Pro regulatory label shows Google is finally upgrading charging speeds, and it goes in line with what we've heard before. Pixel 6 Pro will support 33 watt fast charging, and it's awesome, right? Amazing, because why wouldn't you want faster charging? And I know it's not the ultimate fastest charging you get. You get 120 watt charging on the Xiaomi phones, which basically charges your phone less than 20 minutes from 0 to 100. This will do it, maybe, I don't even know, hour and 15, hour and 10, something like that maybe. But a lot better, maybe a little under an hour, but ultimately faster. That's all we care about. So faster charging, very happy about this. So if you're gonna get the Pixel 6 Pro, probably the Pixel 6 as well, then you're gonna get that faster charging, which is freaking awesome. Next story comes from Ice Universe. S22 Plus and S22 Ultra support 45 watt charging. We've been talking about that. And they use new charging chips and add some new technologies to improve battery life. So let's break down that tweet a little bit. Obviously 45 watt charging, we've heard that before. That's not a big surprise on those two phones. Using new charging chips, that is good, which means maybe these will be real 45 watt charging versus what we got in the past, which was kind of like 45 watt charging. Hopefully this will really improve things across the board for when you're charging the phone from 0 to 100, not just from 0 to whatever. Like, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm stoked about that. And then new technologies to improve battery life. Obviously that would be customization within the software, some throttling when it's not, you know, when we don't need the processor to be at its ultimate best, and then just dumbing down the phone a little bit, again, when it doesn't need to be at its ultimate best. So getting the phone to be smarter, getting the phone to be more efficient are all good things to improve battery life. And then besides that, get faster charging, so which is a win-win for the consumer at the end of that day. Your question of the day is, how you feeling about that Pixel 6 Pro? Are you thinking about diving into that pool of pixelness and getting that? I'm definitely, usually they send me this stuff, so I'm hoping they'll send me the Pixel 6 Pro. And even if they didn't, I'd probably still buy it, but don't tell Google that. Are you guys gonna buy it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the only candy bar phones that I know that's coming out that I'm really looking forward to. All the other phones that I'm really looking forward to are folding phones. With that said, guys, let's jump into the Q&A portion of the video and drop that beat. First question of the day comes from Dan the Man. Does the Galaxy Watch 4 LTE version make calls and text when you're miles away from your phone, for example, when you're at work? Yes, that's the purpose of having the LTE built into the watch, is that when you're not connected to your phone physically, that you'll still be able to make phone calls and text and listen to music and kind of do not everything, but like do a lot of things that you couldn't unless you were connected to the watch. So having that LTE does that. So yes. Next question comes from Mustafa Ahmed. Says, what is your favorite PC or laptop? Are you Mac or Windows fan? What PC laptop do you use day-to-day life? So right now, currently at this point in my life, because I'm not a PC gamer, I have a Mac Mini where I do basically 99% of my video editing and most of my work. I like working on a desktop because I have a really big screen. It's a ultra wide, I think it's 34 inches. I did a video on it. It's from BenQ. It's a really nice monitor. So I use that as my setup. And then I have the Mac Mini. And then I also have a MacBook Air. Both of those, the Mac Mini and the MacBook Air, are M1 processors. I like them because they run really well, and they're not that expensive, and they're small, and they don't make noise. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of the PC, is that I had this big hunk of PC and it would get loud and you could hear the fans. I'm like, it's just too much. It took up a lot of space. So that's why I kind of dumbed down and got into the Mac life for the computer side. But on the phone side, I'm still a Android guy. I do have an iPhone, but I'm barely ever on that thing. So I know you're not even asking about that, but I'm definitely an Android guy if you're asking. So I'm not all Apple. I know I see it in comments a lot. Like people will be like, talking about tech YouTubers where like they'll talk about, oh, I love this new Samsung phone, but then they use Apple all the time. And you're right. I feel like the upper echelon of tech YouTubers are mostly Apple people. And then people like me, Tech Odyssey, Josh Quinones, people like that are on the Android side, but they'll also play with an iPhone and maybe talk good things about it. But you know, it's both things. So I think ultimately, to go back to that, yeah, I'm on the Apple side for the computing side. It's really just for the video editing for the most part. Steve Schiller says, I traded in my Note 10 Plus for the Z Fold 3 and kept my Note 20U for now. A question, have you heard of the UI crashing at least a couple times a day? My phone will also heat up before crashing. I'm hoping that my hardware isn't defective and the next update will fix the problem. Otherwise that I am enjoying the phone. My phone isn't heating up or crashing, but it did have some issues with battery life for a day or two where I had to like restart the phone. Obviously your phone, if it's crashing, it sounds like it is restarting. So if you're not restarting your phone, I would restart the phone. But beyond that, yes, Tech Odyssey, one of my buddies, he's a tech YouTuber, he's had the same issue as you, I think, where it's the phone basically crashing on him. So it seems like it's a common occurrence with some people, and the next update hopefully will fix those issues. And our last question of the day comes from Digital Death 187. Past years, whenever I would get a new smartphone, I looked forward to DisplayMate, indistinguishable from perfect, best display award. Whatever happened to DisplayMate? They're still out there. I don't really go to their website unless somebody like on one of the tech news websites talks about them in terms of like a phone winning an award, but they should still exist. So you should just be able to search DisplayMate, go to their website and check out what they got going on right there. But I know a lot of people look down upon them and the camera people for their reviews and things. But yeah, you can definitely go to their website. It hasn't gone away. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have questions, put it in the comments down below with the word question, and I will see you down the road. Peace. Set it to Arial because I think it's really, really cool. And if you keep it to Arial and you go down to themes, you can show or hide certain, different things that they'll see during that screensaver. So I have Earth turned off because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of International Space Station, stuff like that. You can have it if you want, and all you do is just select it or unselect it. You'll see it's hidden for me, but I have kept